Okay, cool. Yes. People people will steal everything. Will steal anything. Um, all right, all right. Now, okay, we are back. We are back. I said at the I will be editing this, so I will be listening back to the conversation. But as I said at the beginning of the show, we just about remember how to do this. Just about remember how to do it. I think we've had about definitely 3, maybe 4 weeks off with various baby related things. So yeah, I had to go help my wife out because somebody decided to wake up and wanted to feed, which meant that my wife could not. Well, she couldn't cook pasta. so so I had to go. I had to go sort that out. So yeah, yeah, I am the hero. But so what? What did we decide? What did we decide? What have we been talking about? Sharon, I know you've been to the cinema. The creator. Yep. Well, you see now this is the thing, right? I at the moment I'm actually quite glad I no longer have an unlimited card. I'm glad that there's no Cineworld or an Odeon close to me because it has I managed to get away with one kid, especially the fact that the kid was born during the pandemic when there was no cinema. So by the time the cinemas opened up again, we kind of had a routine which meant that I could leave the house and it's now with having 2 kids, there's this dawning realization coming towards me, going, "Oh my god, I'm never leaving this house." I can't. It's like I can't go anywhere. I actually physically can't go anywhere. It just wouldn't be right. So yeah, I don't know when I'm next gonna make it to the cinema. And so when you mentioned The Creator, that's a film that I've actually been looking forward to. And then when you said that, I'm not sure whether you guys ever have this thing where a film shows up in the cinema and you're like, "What? That's here already?" and that was I'm going. That's here already, but I wanted to see that. I'm not going to see this in the cinema. I'm not doing, so it's very unlikely I'm going to see The Creator in the cinema. So Sharon, you are my lifeline. You are the only way I know. You're the closest I'm going to get to watching this film in the cinema, I think. So the creator. So okay, and as you might have gathered, I have not been to the cinema. I've only seen things at home, and I have a wealth of things, but there's one I've chosen that I would like to bring forward. So Holly, how about you? Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 and the Nun 3 and the Nun 2. You had a double bill, saw them so both in the same day. You talked about both of them, yes. 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 With Shaun and Sharon, because the only person who hasn't seen that film now is myself. Yep. Okay. uh, Yeah. Well, okay, okay. We do have a rule that says that it can't be something you have watched before on the show. Anyway, I should explain this. Oh my! I told you we don't know. Oh, I forgot how to do this. So for anybody who's listening to us for the first time, what happens on this show is that we go to the cinema every week. We watch a couple of things in the cinema. We stay at home. We watch a couple of things at home. We rate everything out of 5. We take an average and we see where money has been better spent. Who won this week? Is it Netflix or cinema? Or Netflix and Friends or cinema? And so yeah, and one of the rules that we usually say is we usually say you can't have something that you've watched before because that's automatically going to get a high rating. Because why else would you be watching it unless, of course, it's you and your weird fascination with shark movies? But Well, you see, now I'm of the point of view that it's. Oh, I rarely ever watch something the second time, even if I really do like it. It's kind of like for me to really, apart from like let's say Encanto, because my daughter has sort of like decided that she loves that, and so I've watched Encanto on loop for the last for the last month or so. But it's Oh no, it gets better with repeated viewings. Encanto really really does get better because it's not a straightforward Disney story, which is why I did not understand what the big fuss was the first time I saw it. When about the third time you see, you're like, hang on a second, that's kind of deep. But yeah, so but I tend not to watch things over. So especially if I do not like something, if I did not like something, there is pretty much no chance I'm watching it again. I do not care whether it's people say it's good or anything like that, there's no chance I'm watching it again. So yep, yep. You are the forgiving one. You are the forgiving one in this. Okay, so I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Let's go with the creator. So Sharon, we'll start off with cinema as is a want. Sharon can tell us about the creator. I will talk about the marvelous Mrs. Maisel season 5. Yeah, the marvelous Mrs. Maisel season 5, and then after that we can go back and we can have a big old natter about the Meg 2. How about that, Holly? All right, cool. So let us start off with cinema as is I want and Sharon, the creator. This is the film coming from Coventry's finest, Gareth Edwards. Yep. Yeah. I, I think that is a rare, rare gift in today's day and age to go into a cinema, go into a film, not having a clue about anything. There's sometimes I wish I could have that. Yeah, yeah, Yeah. It is John David Washington. Yes. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Sharon, let me stop you there. You've already told me a couple of things I did not know about this film. So I okay, go okay. So you told me a couple of things I didn't know, but let me tell you where what I know, and let's start from there. We, that he has been sent to destroy this piece of air that's supposed to be like the AI Messiah, and something happens, and then it looks like he ends up going on the run with the AI Messiah. Okay, okay, gotcha. Yeah, 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 yes, yes. So far, so a bit standard, if you ask me. It's a bit standard. It's a bit Lone Wolf from Cub. It's a bit Mandalorian. It's a bit kind of like, oh, I went out to destroy you, but no, I shall turn round and then we shall fight against the world together. But so, what else? What does the film have to offer besides that? Yes, you can see through. Yeah. 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 Oh, okay. So all together, how does it work? How many stars would you give it? What do you reckon of the film? Yep. Yep. Hmm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Our heroes, they've got plot armor. Okay. Yep. 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 Okay. Oh, I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there. Oh. Oh, I think. Okay, you see now. No, the thing about that, right, is that I feel like if you got, I think that might be a spoiler because I think whether Chat GPT is up on the film or down on the film can tell you the way the film goes. So if was it. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say about the creator. So I'm gonna go with 3.5 for the creator from Sharon. I'm gonna say 3.5 for the creator. So, but yeah, I've heard loads about the visuals, that how stunning this film looks, and people have been talking because apparently the film only cost $80 million, which in film terms is nothing. Yeah, well, bearing in mind that we have Killers of the Flower Moon, which is a Martin Scorsese movie, which is coming up, which you wouldn't expect to be like a special effects bonanza or anything like that. That cost 20 million, and and this cost 80 million. So people are saying like, wait, so they didn't spend that much, and the film looks stunning. And then there's films that cost over double that amount and don't look as good. So for a lot of what I've heard is, so that's something I'm looking forward to seeing on a small screen near me. Of course, it's one of the most stunning films of the year. I'll watch it on a tiny tiny screen in my living room. Right, and now we're going to go on to to Netflix and Friends. I'm going to talk about The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel Season 5. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel or have watched any of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel so far. Okay? Two series. So the whole point of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is that at the beginning of it, you meet a character called Midge or Miriam. Miriam, most people call her Midge Maisel. She is when the story starts in the 1950s New York. She is pretty much a Jewish housewife, mother of two. She's what I guess they would call a Jewish American princess, in that, like, her parents have raised her up and everything like that. She's married off to a nice man. She's had kids. She's a good wife. She brings, like, her husband meatloaf at work and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of what she does is all about serving her husband's aspirations in life. Like, but you get to you see that there's a lot more to her, because one of the first times you meet her is at her wedding. And bear in mind, this is the 1950s in New York. She is giving a speech at her wedding. And when she's giving the speech, she's doing the talk, she's bringing the house down. People are laughing. You can see that she's actually quite a raconteur. And we're now in season 5. And what has happened is that she finds her husband's cheating on her. That leads her through a whole bunch of things to a career as a stand-up. And what we follow throughout the whole thing of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is her career as a stand-up. And they use that as a way to look at New York through in the 50s going to the 60s, what was going on around that time in the entertainment industry. And I remember when I first started watching this show, I thought this is very unrealistic, because a woman in the 50s wouldn't have this kind of agency that she has in this film. But then when I was thinking about, hang on, Joan Rivers, for instance, must have started round about then. Yeah, and Joan Rivers managed to carve. So what you're watching is like, you're watching a character a bit like Joan Rivers, how she managed to carve her way in a world that was against her, and like, how they managed to fight all these different things. And there's so many aspects of this show that work really, really well. Number one, I'm not the big fashion guy, but the fashion in this show is on point. Rachel Brosnahan, who is going to be the new Lois Lane, who plays Midge Maisel, she is a clothes horse. She's a clothes horse. It's written by the same people who wrote the Gilmore Girls. Written by the same people who wrote the Gilmore Girls, and I watched this mostly with my wife, and when we're watching it, Claudia's looking and going, how long is the script for this show? Because the dialogue is rat-a-tat flying back and forth especially between her and her manager, played by Alex Borstein, who is called Susie. So when Susie and Midge are on the screen together, it is brilliant, because there's just like gag after gag going back and forth, the way that they go and everything. And in this show, because the whole thing throughout the first 4 seasons of this show has been, is she going to make it? Is she going to make it? Is she going to make it? And season 5 has this really, I think it's a clever thing where, how sometimes everyone knew it was going to be the final season, and the final season, usually you're going through it, then at the end you have this epilogue that says, this person went off and did that, this person went off and did that, this person went off and did that. This show starts like the first person you see in season 5 is one of her children, but once it starts, you're like, hang on, there's something off with the fashion. The fashion doesn't look right. They're supposed to be in the 60s, and you realize, no, this is actually the 80s. So they've gone forward in time, and they've shown you. So they show you throughout the whole thing what happens to a lot of these different characters, where they've ended up. And so right off the gate, they say she made it. She made it. She became like a Joan Rivers kind of person. And they have like shots with Midge when she's older, and she's talking back about, oh, this is what happened. This was my first day on that show. This is what happened. And then they go back and they show you all the different things that happened. And this is a show that, honestly, I would be happy for this show to go on forever, because in the 5 seasons, I don't think the writing dipped at all. I think that they've come up with all these characters that are just wonderful to spend time with, and you just want to hear them speak. I mean, her parents, Abe, Abe and Rose Wiseman are brilliant. Her ex husband's parents, who are still in her life, because obviously they're the grandparents to her children, played by Kevin Pollak and I cannot remember the lady's name, but they are hilarious, and all of the relations and everything that they go in there. There are quite a few, I would say, Jewish stereotypes about in the show, but I guess but a lot of them seem to be like being done by Jewish people about themselves and saying, yeah, these stereotypes do exist, and but it's great. It's New York. I think this show is brilliant, and I would recommend this show to anybody to watch. And I would be interested to know why, Holly, you stopped at season 2, but season 5 I thought was really, really great. I thought it was brilliant. I would give it a 4 out of 5. I think the dialogue is brilliant. I think the performances. I mean, Alex Borstein and Rachel Brosnahan. I mean, I started watching this show because they both won Emmys for their roles, and I thought, oh, it's on Amazon Prime. I mean, I didn't know anything on Amazon Prime was any good. I should watch this and see what the big deal is with these performances. And yes, their performances are brilliant. And the way they do with the whole characters, not everybody ends up in a rosy place with everybody else, so to say. It's actually very real about the sacrifices that you would have to make it in the showbiz world. I just think it's brilliant. I think it's so good. And the stand-up bits that they do, weirdly enough, because sometimes you have these sort of shows where they have like, oh, this person's a stand-up, this person's a comic, and then they end up not being that funny. But the stand-up bits in this are actually genuinely funny, and the things that they say are genuinely funny, and I think it's great. I would give it a 4 out of 5. Everybody, please go watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I would be really, really surprised if you were disappointed. So, having said that, Holly, why did you stop at season 2? Had you met a character called Shy Baldwin yet? He was a crooner, a black crooner. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Okay. You're irritated that it exists. Mm. What? Yeah. Well, to be honest, with you, I think I don't think I love spending time with those characters so much that I don't think I can be fully objective about that because I mean the characters are brilliant, and I think I would love spending time with them even if there was no point to it. But anyway, 4 stars for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I'm on Amazon Prime. Sharon, if you can get around to it, I can recommend it. But now, yes. But now let us get back to Meg 2. Meg 2, The Trench. And so, Holly, you saw it and you wanted to have a chat about Meg 2, The Trench for the people who already seen it. I still don't understand how the Meg is based on a book, but quite frankly. Yep. Cliff Curtis. Oh, it's but that's a bit like how you know in the Shawshank Redemption when yeah, Red, where they ask him like where Tim Robbins asked Morgan Freeman, why are you called Red? And he goes, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm Irish. And that's because in the book Red is actually a red-headed Irishman, which that's why it's called Red. So so with that, so with that, when it comes to that, are you saying good that they changed the characters from the books? Or are you thinking, are you more on the lines of, no, that's sacrilege, how dare they change the characters from the book? Yep. Well, okay, but let's be honest. Let's be honest. I am not a big fan of killing off a woman so that the man has something to feel frigid, which is what it's called. I do not like that trope. But that love interest thing, that whole love thing, they needed to find a way to not do it because in the first film it sucked. It it sucked. It oh, it's not. It's not even. You didn't even believe it. You didn't believe that these were two human beings. Full stop. Who could? There was nothing. There was nothing. There was nothing to it. It was like watching a piece of stone and a wet piece of paper. It was. There was just nothing. Nothing there. Okay, wait. Okay, okay. I'll tell. Let me come with something. Let me ask a question. You seem to be talking about these books like they have some value to them or they have some sort of integrity to them, and I'm thinking, um, it's a film about or it's a book about a massive mega shark. So the said Meg, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, we that was what I was gonna ask was so. With all that being said, what did you think about the film itself? All right. Okay. Cool. Even what? Oh, oh. Well, somebody please eat that dog. Oh, what is it with what's stupid dog surviving films? I could have a Shaun style rant. I, I could have a whole Shaun style rant about stupid dogs surviving in movies. Well, countless humans die. I mean, but no. It's like we can kill a shark full of beachgoers, but oh no, we must not harm the dog because that would be a step too far. I mean, okay, yeah, yep, that's me. There's something wrong with us humans. Ugh. Okay. This takes me to the film Snakes on a Plane. So another creature feature that over the top bombastic, and there is a Pippin style dog in Snakes on the Plane, and the fate of the Pippin style dog in the Snakes on the Plane made me punch the air when it happened because I was like, yes, finally somebody. Oh, that would be telling. No, that would be telling. Yeah. But anyway, yes. So yeah, I mean, there's a dog moment in Man of Steel. Talking about Masters of Wolves, there's a dog moment with Kevin Costner in Man of Steel, the Superman movie. Ah, it annoys me no end. What? Yeah, never mind. Okay, I'm just okay. No, yes. Well, yeah. What? I just, I just, it's. Anyway, never mind. Never mind. This is a bigger existential discussion about the way we look at animals. But I, I just think it's a trope. It's a trope, and it's a well-known thing that they do in Hollywood, where you are not allowed to kill the dog, and I just don't understand why. You see, it's just this weird American thing that I feel is being shoved on the rest of us, that you're not allowed to kill the dog, but you can slaughter thousands of human beings, and and for me, I'm sorry, but if I have a chance to save a dog or a human being, that dog has to be pretty amazing, and the human being has to be pretty terrible for me to go for the dog. So it's yeah, Oh, the dog in the second Independence Day. That was, oh, for goodness sake. But anyway. Yeah. Those are your cats, and I will accept that. There's a bond there. But random cat and random film, never mind. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Yeah, I think this is a longer existential discussion for us to have. But moving on, one of our listeners has been waiting a while for an answer. So, Sharon, remember when we spoke about the haunted house or haunted mansion? Sorry, that was it, haunted mansion. Remember we spoke about that, and we had this whole thing where essentially through a whole bunch of things, through a point of me pretty much accusing Shaun of thinking all black people look alike. Um, so, like, we came to the conclusion that what must have happened is that Shaun went to the cinema, and somehow the Cineworld Cinema on the Isle of Wight showed him the wrong film, because there is the Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy, which was made 20 years ago or something like that, and there's Haunted Mansion, which is the new film with Lakeith Stanfield in it. And we thought, okay, eventually there's a, and our listener Taiwo, my cousin Taiwo, who listens to the show, he listened to that episode and he just texted me going, so what happened? What happened? What is it? What goes on? What is the call? And I think in his message, he actually says he is 100% on Shaun's side. Where he's like, no, I don't believe for one second that Shaun would have mixed those two up. So let me actually find Taiwo's message. And Taiwo says, wait, no, these are all baby. Oh yeah, cool. There it is. Also, he says also we need a resolution to the mystery of the haunted house showing. Why would the cinema show the old one? I'm a believer in Shaun. Is what he says. And he also says he's glad to see wisdom is coming with age for me in my decision not to go to the cinema so close to the due date of my baby. But yeah, that's neither here but there. So I asked Shaun in the end, I was like, did you find from the cinema why they showed you the wrong film? And Shaun got to the heart of the issue, and he says, I think he replied saying, sorry, senior moment. He actually watched the film at home. So, 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 so Shaun, because I was like, no, Shaun knows what Eddie Murphy looks like. So Shaun, yes, does know what Eddie Murphy looks like. Does not confuse Eddie Murphy with somebody who's like 20 years Eddie Murphy's junior, but he did forget that he saw the film at home as opposed to in the cinema. so, so so Taiwo, rest easy. You're a believer in Shaun. Your belief in Shaun can remain steadfast, just possibly not in his memory. But where he saw what film, yes. But that also tells you about how many things that Shaun sees and how they all get blurred together into one. So I believe that is it for us for this week. We shall be back hopefully next week. I don't know how many of us will be back. Actually, maybe will we be back next week? We might. I don't know. I don't know. I will probably be traveling to the Isle of Wight next week Thursday, which means that yeah, we might move it to another day, or the timing might still work. The timing might still work. I will have a look at what time the ferry is, and I will see. I might be able to make it onto the Isle of Wight in time to actually still record this whole thing. But anyway, until that time, it's a goodbye from me. Please do find us on social media. Find us on Netflix via cinema on almost all platforms, and get in touch. Tell somebody about this. Tell somebody about how we love to review the wrong film on the wrong platform in the wrong section of the show. We are that kind of podcast. Until next week, thank you for joining us. Right, that's it. We are out. Oh, Buffy. Oh, not Buffy, the Wolf Pack or the something like that. Well, see, now that's the thing. I don't, I'm not, I'm not so sure that I'm not so sure that it's about the writing. I think some of them might just be the casting. The casting has kind of gotten a bit homogenized. Well, having said that, I've, I've been watching Gen V, the spin-off of The Boys, the one that's set at the university, and no, I find that yeah, it is good. It is good. I find it pretty easy to tell people apart. I think that they're cast so they all look different enough that you can tell them apart. Mm. Right. On that note, I should probably get back into the house. Yes, um, well, I go. What have I sent you? Let's let's see. I okay. I sent. You've had two pictures. Okay, I'm going to send you. Let's see. Okay. Well, just looks at the camera like, okay, what what is your problem?